Oh, let's see. The weaponization of conventionality. Is it a word? Is conventionality a word? Convention. I know it's conventionally. It's conventionality. I'm not gonna get hung up on it. Let's just assume it is, but it isn't. It's conventionality. The weaponization of conventionality. Again, that's conventionality. Yeah, that's it's just one of the many bricks in the wall of that ever so popular topic of narcissistic abuse. And my goodness, that is such a misleading term, at least superficially. Narcissism, for one, it's an umbrella term that gets used a lot these days, essentially to describe any of the behavioral characteristics which one employs within the spectrum of narcissistic abuse. And if they've got one, they tend to have many. So, I'd like to use the term zombie and alien tapeworm, especially as of late. There's a number of reasons why I've done this. One of many is satire. Because my goodness, even in the darkest of times, can satire be something of a weapon? And to quote a friend of mine, satire can indeed be a weapon, though perhaps it lacks the blunt impact of a cannonball. What it does have is the ability to tear things down. The scary things, the hopelessness, the horror and despair. If you can find even only a grain to mock and laugh at, the whole facade inevitably comes down. Yeah. He also made another remark right after that I'd like to share, and that would be about ambient abuse. He said ambient abuse. So let me do it. Ambient abuse. What a term. Makes it sound like almost nothing, and at the same time, something Lovecraftian and cosmic. Remember this one for future videos. I did. And I'm screenshotting that for reference. And this is a friend of mine, Halv. Wonderful fella, very insightful, very talented writer, and voice actor as well. So that we have those things. But anyway, that's Halv. Reminds me, I probably need to touch base with him. But anyway, yeah, just like he said, satire can certainly have that effect. First and foremost, for tearing down the construct in a very important place, and that is within the mind of the target. Because this is one of the most formidable implants that the narcissistic person will start putting its crap in your own head. For some more insight on that, I would highly recommend any number of videos from Sam Vaknin. As soon as I come across the one in particular, I will post it in the comment section for anyone who may be interested. This is where he equates a narcissistic person to a virus. And Sam, interestingly, we would kind of know because, well, he's a diagnosed narcissist and one of the few who is not only self-aware, but quite transparent. I'm not sure if I'd go to him as a therapist or anything, but nevertheless, he's a prolific cornucopia of information on the topic. Very insightful. Another reason I've used these ideas is to paint a more mimetic picture of what this is like, because accuracy is important, and considering how convoluted and unconventional it is compared to any kind of conventional understanding or wisdom, those of us who've been through it find that some of the only accurate ways to kind of describe it are using these sci-fi horror-ish analogies. And another reason I've done so is, well, wouldn't you know it, turns out narcissistic people have a tendency, at least some of them, to seek out videos like this because they're looking to up their game. So, thought it'd be fun to throw a little bit more an accurate representation of what's going on within them right in their faces, especially to the ones in my own life who have been snooping around. If someone had told me some years ago that there are people who just have it in them to go stalking you and anything else like this, I would have thought that was kind of paranoid and a little crazy. Well, wouldn't you know it, this turns out to be the modus operandi of certain personality types out there. And it can start over the dumbest shit. It can be essentially something like just qualities you have that they don't. And something about this invalidates their little narrative about themselves. And so they've got it in for you. Big time. And considering that they've spent a lifetime perfecting these dangerous methods, yeah, they tend to be pretty proficient at what they do. I understand it intellectually. I think almost inside and out, but I can't understand it in any other way. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But nevertheless, there we have it. An interesting form of ambient abuse that I've become aware of on a number of occasions now, as has my wonderful team. We've been digging into this one. And this is a form of what is known as financial abuse. Now, most of the examples out there that discuss this facet of the full gambit include a bit more tangible examples. But we've noticed that there seems to be a considerable amount more that is intangible. One of the things that narcissistic people tend to be proficient at is what I like to refer to as hacking your nervous system, essentially grooming you out of sight and mind of your reasoning. And long before your mind catches up, your body will learn very quickly what is okay and what isn't within the realm of the narcissist. Because the narcissist needs you to be beneath them, because to them it is some kind of convoluted game of superior and inferior. And let's just say, for example, that your line or lines of work involves any kind of way of providing for yourself which causes the narcissist to feel some kind of way about themselves. Oh my goodness. And wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Within the rest of the fog that you get lost in, it's the darndest thing. You seem to be unable to provide for yourself in these ways as well anymore. And yet, when you get just a bit of distance between that fucking roaming specter and yourself, what do you know? Things tend to start getting back on track. How about that? Must be another coincidence, you know? One of the many coincidences on top of this overflowing landfill of coincidences. Very interesting. We have a fair amount to present on this topic in and of itself, and yeah, we're getting there. But for now, I thought I'd mention it. I'm curious if anybody else has had some experiences like this. Might like to comment, put in their 2 cents. This is such a labyrinthian topic. We've all had so many similar but differing experiences. It's, there's no one size fits all, but as a good friend once said, sharing experiences is the antivirus. Yeah, that's a big part. Alrighty, I think that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time.